Eric Rhodes from Fine Art Connoisseur, and today we're interviewing Howard Rehs from Rehs Galleries and also president of the Fine Art Dealers Association.
Rehs Gallery started in the 1930s with my grandfather, who used to bring in container loads of paintings and sell them in bulk to different dealers. By the 1960s, my father came into the business and decided it would be advisable to break those containers down and start to sell them piecemeal, and they started a wholesale gallery business. And that continued through the 1970s, and the gallery began to evolve into a gallery that specialized in Victorian paintings and dealt with many of the galleries plus the design firms that were in New York City at that point. I went to study art history at New York University in the late 70s and came into the business in 1981. And my personal passion was French paintings. I spent a year in England doing all the buying for the gallery, and then that's how I learned the business, then continued sort of building on my interest in French paintings, and now we're basically known for French Barbizon, realist and naturalist artists from about 1850 to 1920. I see that the world market is, really blossomed, and a lot of people are coming to it. There's a lot of money out there chasing fewer and fewer goods. The higher quality paintings go into collections. Some of them end up in museums and are never going to come back on the market. So the demand is increasing and the supply is decreasing. And I find it much more difficult today to consistently get the great paintings. There are artists that we typically have in our inventory that we just won't have a painting for a while because the right picture isn't available. And I'm not one to buy a painting for a name. It's got to be the painting first before anything. Then all the other sort of factors have to be there to own the picture, but image and quality are number one. I guess I would have to say I'd probably go to Russia, because I've never been there, and to see the Impressionist collections that are sitting there, because there are probably some great paintings that I may have seen photographs in my art history days, but I've never actually seen the paintings. Again, I think in terms of the market, the way I look at the market currently, I think overvalued art right now would be contemporary. I think it's very hot, and I think a lot of that stuff is going to take a hit at some point. I think the Impressionist market is well valued, and some of the artists are still undervalued. A lot of them I don't deal in, but I think that I've seen that market through the 80s got to a level where when it hit the wall and dropped, some of those artists still haven't come back to that level at this point, so I think there's a lot of room in there to see appreciation. A lot of the 19th century doesn't trade like the contemporary and the Impressionists because they don't buy by name. They buy more by image, and then they want to know who the artist is. So that's a more stable market, which in hard times still sells, but sort of plateaus. You don't get that spike in price where it shoots up tenfold and then drops, in half. So I think today you can still find good 19th century academic. I think you can find good Impressionist paintings at reasonable prices. Again, depending on what reasonable is to the individual, what's comfort level for that person. I always tell people the first thing you need to do is do some research. Look in the books, go to museums, see what kind of art really speaks to you. From that point, find the galleries that deal in that period, and then talk to the dealers. Most dealers are very happy to talk to you. They'll spend plenty of time giving you a lot of information about the art that they sell and the painters that they deal in. And from there, you can start to learn about prices, and you can determine what your budget is and what level artist you're going to be able to afford. And I also stress all the time, buy the best you can. If you cannot afford a great painting by a first level artist, then drop to the second level or drop to the third level. But buy the best painting you can by those artists.